Hey everyone, this is Rob, and we're here at the Federal booth, and I have with us Chris here to talk about the new Super Carry 30 round. Chris?
Hi. Yeah, so 30 Super Carry, brand new cartridge. So it's going to take proprietary firearms, things like it is a brand new cartridge. So the idea was we sat down with the engineers and we're determined to develop a cartridge for today instead of adapting 100-year-old cartridges to try and make them work the way people expect them to today, using modern propellants, modern case design, modern primer design, modern bullet design especially, because of all the advances we've made in the last 2 decades on bullet design. So knowing that the biggest market for handgun in the United States is concealed carry, personal defense, and knowing that the drivers for that are the convenience of carry, concealment, or the ability to carry as many rounds as you can in a small package. So what we looked at was, can we develop a round with the terminal effectiveness of 9? So performs terminally as well as 9mm does, but then in a smaller package to allow for either more rounds in a gun or for you to build a smaller gun around that platform. So what we did was we started with a bunch of different diameters, settled on a 312 diameter, and we started looking at 30, which is kind of where the 30 came from. So kind of picked that as, okay, that's as small as we want to go. Ended up with a 312 diameter projectile, so about the same as what a 32 auto projectile diameter would be, but we're not reusing anything. All the components were built from the ground up for as far as the case and bullet. So it is a 312 diameter, and what we're seeing originally is 100 grain to 115 grain projectiles. Federal is going to do 100 grain American Eagle and 100 grain HST. Remington is going to introduce 100 grain UMC and an HTP. And then Speer Gold Dot is going to do a 115 grain, and CCI will do a Blazer 115 grain to go along with that for training. So that's 6 products right out the gate from 4 different brands, right? So that's the ammunition. And as far as performance, so it's a high pressure load. It's built to be a high pressure cartridge. So we were able to get more velocity and more terminal performance out of the smaller projectile. Really good sectional densities to aid in both accuracy and in penetration depth. So a little bit skinnier, a little bit longer. Same overall length as a 9mm, the loaded cartridges, with a little longer case than a 9 to make up for some of the lost capacity for the reduced diameter. Out of a 4-inch test barrel, the 100 grain is about 1250 feet per second. The 115 grain is about 1150 feet per second. And just by way of comparison from a terminal performance standpoint, what we've got here is just a model that we did of actual wound channel models, and those were the upsets that we took out of the gel when we got done shooting it. So this is through the FBI's heavy clothing protocol, which is denim, fleece, dress shirt, t-shirt, to summarize it. And the top is our 380 HST. The bottom is a 124 grain 9mm HST, and what you're seeing in the middle there is the 100 grain 30 Super Carry HST. So about 9.85 inches of penetration there with really good upset size, which is the problem with 380, right? It's always a compromise. So if you want it to expand, it's going to penetrate shallow and vice versa. So 9mm, we step up and we get good upset size, more like a 5.7 to 0.6 kind of range. But the penetration depth there is about 14.5, really good, right? And that's kind of that baseline that we want to have for terminal performance. And then in the Super Carry, we've got 0.53 to 0.55, somewhere in that range, typically upset size through heavy clothing. So it's starting to creep up to where the 9 is, but then you get an extra inch of penetration depth. So there, as the FBI states, kind of the importance of terminal performance for a defensive round. It's shot placement, then penetration depth, and then expansion upset size. In order of priority, those are the things that matter for a terminal performing bullet. So it's very accurate, it's very controllable, little less recoil than a 9, so you can put the rounds where they need to be. We cover placement, penetration depth being next, and then that expansion size, growing it so we're still getting anywhere from 1.7 to 1.9 times expansion. So the bullet is almost doubling in size in some cases, right? So. Yeah. And that, especially in bare gel. And that's what we were shooting for with this. We use the 124 just kind of as a baseline for comparison. Because the energies were kind of close. It's actually got more energy than our 147 grain HST 9mm. the terminal performance of that one is higher because of the big heavy bullet, right? So just to have a comparison to help people understand, the 30 Super Carry will outperform anything 100 grain, 115 grain in 9mm, and it's up around where the 124 is. But then in all the guns that we're launching with, we're getting 2 extra rounds per magazine.
Wow.
So to start with, Smith & Wesson and Nighthawk were the first ones to come to market.
Yep.
So Nighthawk we worked with very early in development, smart guys, really open-minded, ambitious, said this is a cool idea, we want to be there. Gave us our first proof of concept guns, helped us to evolve the cartridge, check things like the pressures and how is that all going to work with the cartridge. Smith & Wesson then stepped in and worked on the smaller guns. So they're doing an EZ and Shield Plus. So 2 extra rounds in each of those mags, right? So the 8-round EZ is now a 10-rounder, 10 plus 1. So, and those were the first ones to come to market. There'll be more gun companies coming. Those guys just happen to step up and get it done really quick, right? So
we got to shoot it at range day, and I was very impressed with it. And so it's definitely a much more controllable round. I generally carry a 380 on the daily, so this would be a nice upgrade for sure.
And we expect that kind of Wave 2 will fall into that range too, where now the gun companies can build a frame around it. So you're never going to get as small as a 380 just because of the high pressures and things like that, but you're going to be able to get somewhere in between that micro compact 9 and a really small 380. So it'll carry more like a 380, but it's still going to hit like a 9. So.
Absolutely. But like you said, and it's all going to matter about how many other companies take on this new round. But I liked how you put it that, why try to use old technology and make it work for today's uses? And that's a really good point. And like, at first you think that's just a really big investment to spend on ammo, but is it really an investment if it makes something better than what we've been using?
And it's important to know too, the pricing's going to be the same as 380.
Okay.
So you're not going to pay some super premium or something. It's especially in the premium personal defense, our price to customers for 9mm, 30 Super Carry, and 380 HSTs are right around the same. Once you get to the target ammo, 9mm starts to have a little bit more of a gap.
Sure.
But we're going to keep that price right where 380 is, and that's deliberate to try and keep it affordable for people to be able to try out the new round.
Absolutely. That'll definitely help with people adopting it. It's very cool. So we're really excited to see more happening with the Super Carry or the.
Glad you got to shoot it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
When can we expect it to be commercially available?
It's shipping now. It's shipping now. So, especially initially, what we're trying to do for the first couple months is get the ammo to go where the guns are going, so that you can find them both at the same location. So
right.
We're trying hard to do that at first, but it's being produced and shipped now. It'll be kind of sporadic as those guns and ammo kind of get out into the market, but then after a couple months, it'll be just regular availability like you'd expect from any other ammo. So, which is all tough right now just because of how fast it's getting gobbled up, right? But yeah, it'll enter into the regular cycle and be available like anything else after that.
Awesome. That's very awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate all of your time and all of your information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. All right, guys. You just heard it from Federal, the 30 Super Carry round. What do you think about it? We got a chance to try it out, and I thought it was pretty cool. Let us know if you have any other questions about the 30 Super Carry or anything else here at SHOT Show.